Hello and welcome back to Dragon Quest Vault Tutorials. I'm going to GZ, and in this video we are going to go over the top 10 best weapons of 2022 that I don't have in my inventory. So I already made a list of the weapons that I do have in my inventory, so now I want to focus on the weapons that I do not have. So here with this list there are actually going to be 11 of these. So actually, the one that I don't have included on the list is going to be a more recent one, so that's going to be the Rubiss Spear armor. So, yeah, I didn't include this on this particular list because, in terms of its ability and damage, I already have weapons that do things a bit similar. The only good thing about its main ability is that it can't be evaded nor can it be blocked. So that's what's good about that. But besides that, there really is nothing else special I feel about that particular weapon. So with that said, I want to go and get started. So number 10. So that's going to be the Sword of Gran Zedorra. So the Sword of Gran Zedorra was featured this past summer in the Dragon Quest X event. So I didn't get this weapon, and it had an ability called, I believe it was called Gran Zedorra. That particular attack did melee damage to all enemies. It did pretty good mirror damage, though in the end I have it down on this far down. It didn't really appeal that much to me, and only really I could probably find other things that actually did just as much damage, especially right here. I have on my this particular high priest the dragon staff. So with this, it does meta spell damage, plus it actually does physical damage as well. Probably not going to be the exact same damage, but I feel like they're almost very similar effects. But I actually have seen people get pretty high damage with that. So I mean, if I had it, I probably would be saying something a bit different. But since I don't have it, I really don't have it. I really can't really say much else about it, except that it's one of the weapons that I did actually miss. Then next, I'm going to have the Hades Scythe. So the Hades Scythe is going to be also featured from the Dragon Quest X event. So that was a Gita-based weapon, pretty much the Scythe of the King Nergal, King of the Underworld. So with that actually did pretty good damage. I would have liked to have gotten that particular weapon, but of course I wasn't able to get it. But compared to other weapons, probably something that could come close into Gita damage is probably the Raging Flame Flash Call. So with that, I have done battle damage assessments on that particular weapon, so you can look in a couple of the videos here. But with the Hades Scythe, I have seen some pretty high damage with this particular weapon. So it's probably a step just a cut above the actual Raging Flame Flash Call, since Raging Flame Flash Call you actually need to build up the damage over time, but with the Hades Scythe you don't really need to do that as long as you actually have buffs on your character. Next at number 8 is going to be the Rubiss Spear. So the Rubiss Spear's main ability is going to be Jibadia based. So it does Jibadia based damage to all enemies, and that's actually quite good. In terms of the weapons that I do have a couple of weapons that do Jibadia based damage to all enemies, but not on the same damage level as that particular ability. The only one that probably would be coming close is going to be on the Demon Hammer. So that actually has a Jibadia attack that does damage to all enemies and also heals your allies a little bit. But yeah, so the other thing about the Rubiss Spear is that it also is a metal weapon. So that particular weapon is pretty much geared for taking out the metal Tsumuri. So that particular enemy has about 32 HP, around there. With that weapon, I believe you could actually take it down. So, yeah, that's one weapon that I did miss. Though I didn't necessarily, I already have pretty, at that time I had pretty good metal weapons already, so I wasn't really missing that particular weapon all too much, but I really wanted it for the Jibadia base damage. Next on my list is going to be at number 7. So this is going to be the Million Dagger. So right here you can see this particular character is going to be equipped with most of the gear for that particular banner. But the Million Dagger, that was the first weapon that we saw that had super crit. So super crits actually did even higher crit damage. So that could increase that increases the damage quite a bit. So I was actually quite disappointed when I missed it both times when the banner came around. The first time the banner came around, I actually got the headgear, and then when the second time it came around, I got the rest of the gear, but I didn't get the actual weapon. So I was a bit disappointed with that, but instead, I actually did get Strong Fist of the God of War, which is pretty much almost a very similar weapon. It does non-attribute damage to the enemy and also has super crit abilities, and I actually have 3 of them on my characters, so I went over that in my weapons that I do have video. Next on my list is going to be at number 6. This is going to be the Divine Bird Staff from Dragon Quest VIII event. So this particular weapon, I wish I actually did have, because it does meta spell damage to a single enemy. So the only spell that I actually have, or weapon that I actually have that does that, is going to be the Calligraphy Staff. The Calligraphy Staff actually has been upgraded in the Forge to have Meta Zoma Kai, but in that case, but really compared to the Divine Bird Staff, this mere spell damage that it does there is going to be a lot higher, and that would really work or help out if I had that on an Archmage. With an Archmage, I do have the ability to actually cast about 4 spells in a row. So if I get the dual cast, so I can cast a spell, get a echo, then cast again and get another echo. So that actually does a lot of damage to an enemy. So you did see that in one of my previous videos, I believe against Bodon. Next on my list at number 5 is going to be Blade of the Dragon God King. So this weapon also was featured in the Dragon Quest VIII event, so you're going to see a very big pattern here. So pretty much this particular weapon was the one weapon that I really wanted, because at that time it was the best Dane weapon that did single damage to an enemy. This actually would have been higher up on my list. The only thing that changed was me getting the Demon Dragon Sword, and that actually overtaking it to being the most important Dane weapon currently in our inventory that we have in the game. So that actually does a lot more damage, and that actually pushed this weapon down. I would have had it in my top 3, but now it's going to be number 5. But yeah, I really needed this weapon at the time because I had a lot of trouble trying to take out Rapthorn in the super high difficulty quest. So that's the only one that I have not actually been able to finish. If that ever does come back, I would try to finish it with the weapons that I do have. Next on my list is going to be at number 4. This is going to be the Mysterious Tambourine. So with this is actually a very good weapon that I would have wanted to have. Not only did it EO damage, multiple EO damage to enemies, but it also healed as well. And combined with the Dormagus Mega Monster Soul, that actually was perfect for this particular weapon. So that weapon was again something that I wanted and something that I really needed in my battle against Rapthorn in the super high difficulty quest. So I was actually it would have provided me with more healing besides the 2 healers that I had. My strategy wasn't working out as well as I had thought. But yeah, so this was another weapon that that I really wanted to get, but again, was not able to. So pretty much all the weapons from the Dragon Quest 8 event, also the 10 event as well, I was not actually able to get, and that really puts me at a disadvantage for that particular event. But like I said, I actually did get lucked out with a Dane-based weapon. Next on my list at number 3 is going to be the Staff of the God of the Creation of Light. So that was also from the Dragon Quest X event. So with that particular weapon, it did boggy damage to the enemy, boggy spell damage, and not just once but multiple times. So pretty much it was definitely possible with just one spell cast to do over 10,000, even 13,000 damage to the enemy. I have no, since I don't have the weapon, I wouldn't be able to assess it, but definitely it could do probably even more. So with that in mind, if I actually had that weapon equipped on an Archmage, pretty much the results of that would be devastating. So yeah, that's actually one weapon that I really wish that I did get. From that event, or from that particular banner, I did get the head and chest, which actually did provide a pretty good boggy spell damage increase, but it's actually, in terms of the spell damage, it's no different than the spell damage given for the equipment for the sealed great sage, but the actual stats are slightly different in terms of resistances. Next at number 2 is going to be the Dark Overlord's Magic Scepter. So this is actually a Dorma based spell damage weapon that I really wanted to get for Dormoadon. So Dormoadon is going to be probably right now the most powerful Dorma based spell that there is. And we've seen it before used by enemies, especially enemies such as the what's his name? Orga Demira. So that's something that I really wanted to have. That actually would have also been very good to have in my battle against Dragon Knight Baron, the elite enemy, since he is weak to Dorman base attacks. But yeah, that weapon would have been very good for my inventory. I do have the Heavenly Dark Lord staff, but the main Dorma based ability on that does damage to all enemies and not a single enemy. So the single enemy ones are going to be a lot stronger again against a single enemy. So that's one that I really wish that I did have. And coming in at number 1 for the best weapon of 2022 that I do not have in my inventory is going to be Clift's Holy Staff. So this is definitely a staff that I really wanted to get. Very similar to the Holy Wind Staff when I originally didn't get it for the Dragon Quest. That was Dragon Quest 7 event, but I did get it later on when it appeared later on in another band again when it was revisited. But hopefully I do get that for this particular weapon. But this particular healing staff is very good since it has a Rizauraru, which is going to be a buff that is put on an ally, and what it does is that when they die, they actually are resurrected for, I believe, 20 to 50% of their HP. So that if you have that on a high priest, the high priest does encouragement, or share, the share ability. That you can put that on all your characters at the same time and not have to really worry about them dying as much as you would think. But yeah, that's the one thing that I really wanted to get, and especially it also had good healing as well. So yeah, so hopefully this does come back soon, and I would really like to get that weapon. So yeah, so that's going to be my top 10 for the weapons that I do not have in my inventory for 2022. So just curious, what weapons or what are your weapons that you would like to have that you don't have in your inventory for the year 2022? Please try to keep it to those weapons. But yeah, so let me know in the comments down below. But with that said, I'm going to be ending this video here, so thank you for watching. If you enjoyed the video, please leave a like. If you would like to see more, please subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video.